From deep in the Burbank Media District, it's time for another edition of myBurbank Talks, presented by the staff of myBurbank. Now, let's see what's on today's agenda as we join our program.
Hi, Ashley Erikson here, another episode of Women of Burbank, and I have a guest, Monique Hale, with me. She is the founder and owner of Extension Bar LA with over 20 years of experience, making women feel and look beautiful while also keeping the integrity of their hair. Monique and her team educate their clients on taking care of their hair and debunking the misconceptions of extensions, which I'm so excited to learn about because that is something I know nothing about.
And I'm so excited to talk about it.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
So you're a Burbank mom.
I am.
You have 2 kids here in Burbank.
I do.
And you have been in the hair industry for 20 years.
I have. That's crazy to think about.
Tell me how this even got started.
Yeah.
When you started.
How long do we have? No. I was getting in a lot of trouble in high school, as we all do. And I was like, what am I going to do? When I graduated, thankfully. And I was looking for a hairdresser on Ventura Boulevard. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles in the West Valley. And I always knew I wanted to do hair. My mom and my aunt went to beauty school, but were beauty school dropouts. My aunt ended up owning a bakery, and my mom did odds and ends of work. So I was going up and down Ventura Boulevard and trying to find a hairdresser. And I picked this one hairdresser. There was 2 hairdressers at this place called Pink Cheeks, which I thought meant hair, but it was not hair. But they did have 2 hairdressers in the back of this Pink Cheeks salon, which was a waxing place. And they gave me 2 names. I picked one name, and I'm like, no, let me go with Natasha. So I went with this girl, and she started doing my hair. And I was like, I really want to do hair, but I can't afford to go to beauty school. I was already on my own. I've been on my own since I was 16. So I couldn't afford to go to regular beauty school. And she's like, well, why don't you do the apprenticeship program? I'm like, what's that? And she said, well, you get your hours through working in the salon. And I was like, oh my God. So she gave me the paperwork. It was probably like the second time I even had her do my hair. And I went the next day, and it was in downtown LA. And I came back, and I'm like, I signed up. And she's like, I didn't think you were going to follow through with it. And that's one thing about me is I follow through with things. And the only way you can own a business is if you follow through with things.
Yeah.
So I got my hours through working in a salon. I worked at a bakery in the morning. I worked at the salon during the day, and then I waitressed at night. So it was a lot, but I got through it. And I actually went to beauty school with one of the biggest hairdressers that did all the Kardashians and stuff. And she has her own line of products, and her name's Jen Atkin. And she is still my person I look up to because she came from nothing too. And she came here from Hawaii and Utah and said, I'm going to be a big hairdresser. So I started doing hair like that, and then Natasha, my mentor, ended up moving and gave me all the clients.
Wow.
That we had, so they already knew us.
This is the perfect lineup of miracles, right?
It is, and it's been like that. I really believe in manifesting, and we can if I always talk about that because I really do believe in creating our own reality, and I've done it, and it's still really hard. I'm constantly questioning myself every day when it comes to my business. But 4 years ago, and that's the next step of it, after doing hair in different salons, always on Ventura Boulevard in Studio City, where my salon is now, 4 years ago, I had a mom from Burbank Moms Club. Her husband was an entrepreneur, and she's like, I really want you to take a meeting with my husband. I just think there's more to you than just being a hairdresser. And so he sat me down and he said, what makes the most money when you're doing hair? And I said, well, extensions. But it wasn't just about the money for me. It was that's what transformed women. And it wasn't just about the outside. It helped the inside too, especially when you have fine hair. So I said, well, extensions. And he said, well, then you stop doing everything else and you just do extensions.
Wow, that's really good business advice.
Right. But this is 2 kids already.
Yeah, what a leap.
And I was still married at the time. And, my ex-husband did support that and said, do whatever you want to do. But it was very scary. Change is very hard, very scary. And another part of growing a business is the the only way to grow is to make these uncomfortable decisions.
Hmm.
And I did it. And so that led me to opening the salon.
That's incredible.
Right.
And so the salon just focuses on extensions.
Just focused on
So when
extensions.
you go in there as a client, you are 100% getting extensions. You're not going in for a cut and color.
No, because it kind of washes away, like when you're really good at one thing and
Mhm.
focus on one thing, that's when the success comes in. I feel like if you're here and there and eyelashes and color,
Mhm.
I send, and it's a lot more work for the client because some salons do the color and the extensions, and we tone the extension, meaning coloring the extensions and the hair to match exactly.
Mhm.
But it's really important to focus on one thing because of the health of the hair.
Okay. And that's something we'll talk about because
Yeah.
that's like your biggest main thing is the
Right.
health of the hair, right?
Right.
So I know absolutely nothing. And I know I hear these words that
Right.
you say in your videos like K-tip and tape in and
Right.
sew in. So give me like a rundown of like what the different extensions are, what the different installations are. How does this extension world work?
Well, right. So to back up, when I decided to open up Extension Bar LA, there was one popular extension at the time, which was the sew-in beaded wefts.
Mhm.
So that's one of the ones we do that are called Active Babe because they're good for the woman that is active and works out a lot and doesn't want to dry their hair all the time. So that one was really popular, and there were salons just doing those kind of extension. I was like, but that kind of extension isn't best for every single type of hair. So we do 4 different types of extensions. The one that I mentioned, which is a beaded weft that's sewn into the hair. The ones that I actually have in my hair are called K-tip extensions, which is a keratin bond that is melted around the hair, not into the hair, so it doesn't damage the hair.
Mhm.
Those are the ones that I started with. That was the only kind of extension that was really available 20 years ago, and that's what I educated in the only class that there was back then. And then there's the tape and extensions, as you mentioned, which is a little bit bigger than a K-tip. They're about this big. It's a piece of tape that's sandwiched
Mm.
together. And those last a little bit less time, but that's like, I always call that the gateway drug to extensions because if
Mm.
you like those kind of extensions, then if you want them longer, then it's kind of the gateway to K-tips or the
Yeah,
other
it's a little
kind.
introduction.
And then the last one we do is called One Night Babe, which is a clip-in extension, and that's for the girl that for a wedding or just for the night of going out, but don't want to like have the maintenance of them of the
Mm.
everyday. So a lot of a lot of clip-in extensions, you just get them online, and then
Okay.
you're supposed to figure out how to put them in,
Yeah.
and you don't know what you're doing. So we have the service of ordering the extensions or bringing them in and showing you how to place them in the hair and then cutting into them so they blend with the hair because we've all seen the ones that you can tell,
Mhm.
and then styling them, and then a service of coming in again and just getting them placed in the
Yeah.
hair for
And
that night.
it's not easy. So back in like
No.
2008, I had black underneath my hair, right?
Mhm.
And I bought these clip-in extensions at this little kiosk in the Burbank Mall,
Mhm.
and I could not for the life of me figure out how to do it. So every time I wanted to wear them, I would style my hair, drive down to the Burbank Mall, go to the kiosk,
Right.
have them put them
Right.
in, and then they left and they closed. And I was like, well, there goes
Well,
that. So
now
never
if you
had
ever
them
want,
again.
well, now you know a person. But yeah, it's like not a
Yeah.
lot of people. I mean, we do live in Los Angeles. It is the epicenter of beauty and taking care of yourself and looking good. So we do have more options here, but not everybody does. And
Yeah.
not everybody knows. So we are that place that, educates
You
you.
specialize
That's right.
just in that.
That's right.
So if someone comes in for a consultation, you're going to figure out what's the best kind of extension for them, how long it's going to be,
Exactly.
that whole
So
thing.
yes, so that's the whole thing is like we don't carry the hair in salon. First of all, because our salon is very boutique-y salon and we don't have a lot of space, but that would be hundreds of colors
Mm,
that we have to have in
yeah.
salon. And it gives it a more like personal experience to sit with the stylist and figure out what their lifestyle is and the kind
Mhm.
of hair they have instead of just walking in and deciding like that. Some places do that, but in the last 4 years of figuring out how to do all this still works for us of having that consultation, finding the color, finding the kind of extension, the length, and making sure it's right for their lifestyle.
It's like hair science.
Kind of.
You're like putting an equation together.
It's seriously, I was like, science was my favorite
Yeah,
subject
there
in
you go.
school.
And so I've always, I mean, I'm sure this is not a cheap thing to do, right? And I'm sure different extensions cost different things. Just give me like a ballpark of someone coming in
Yep.
for extensions with the color matching, like out the door. What does that look like?
So it's a little scary to say in the beginning, but our prices are very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like cheaper
Mm-hmm.
than going over the hill.
Mm-hmm.
So over the hill, I kid you not, you're spending anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000, and I'm not exaggerating. In our case, because it's more of like a bar in the sense of I wanted every kind of person to be able to get extensions and not just the people that have all the money. But it depends on everything, but it can go from 500 all the way up to 2,500. But we cap it. We try to cap it at 2,500 and that could sound a lot to some people, but going the cheaper route and getting them less than that, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking that the price range was. And this hair, so you order it.
We order it. We have 2 different companies that we use.
Okay. And this is real hair?
It's
This is
100% human hair, Remy hair. Remy hair means all the cuticle is going the same way. So you can get hair that's not Remy hair, so the cuticle is going one way and then the other way. And so once you brush it, which I'll brush mine in front of everybody, it just tangles.
Okay.
So you always want, even if you're not going to extension bar LA, for it to always be 100% human Remy hair.
Wow, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a quick commercial break and then we'll come back.
Are you tired of spending your weekends cleaning instead of enjoying your free time? Well, now you don't have to. Introducing My Favorite Cleaning Company, your trusted local Burbank cleaning solution. Whether you need residential deep cleaning, regular residential service, move-in, move-out services, or even small business cleaning, we've got you covered. Our cleaners use high-quality cleaning products and state-of-the-art equipment for exceptional results. From kitchens to bathrooms, bedrooms to living spaces, we leave no corner untouched. Call My Favorite Cleaning Company today at 818-629-1255 and let My Favorite Cleaning Company be your favorite cleaning company. Visit our website at myfavoritecleaningcompany.com to learn more about our services and book your appointment.
All right, we're back, and I'm really excited to talk about your TikTok. So you've kind of gone a little viral on your Extension Bar LA TikTok. You have over 100,000 followers, and you start your videos with kind of like a little consultation. They're telling you what they want, and you're telling them no most of the time, right?
Most of the time.
Because you don't want them to damage their hair.
Correct. So a good amount of clients are young.
Mm-hmm.
They're influencers, they're TikTokers, and they're moving here from other states and don't have any parental guidance. I am literally called the mom of the salon. It's kind of sad at the same time that I'm momming to 20-something-year-olds now, and I'm not the 20-year-old anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always been that way. And when I started doing my TikToks, I knew, when I opened the salon, I wanted influencers because that is what makes you tick. It's what makes you successful, honestly, because that's what is coming in. So when TikTok kind of took over from Musical.ly, I had some TikTokers that came in, and that's what started me going viral. Because I was reaching out to everybody and anybody I could, and that leads to when I made these new TikToks in the last 6 months. I was like, I need to just be myself instead of acting, and if I'm myself, maybe we'll go viral. So I did exactly what I do, and I can be a little harsh or a lot harsh, and I really do care about the client's hair. So when they're telling me that they want to bleach their whole head out and break all their hair off, I'm going to tell them no.
Yeah.
In a harsh way, but really, truly, I love these girls with all my heart, and they are like my own, and I do adopt them when they move here. So all these girls really do trust me, and they're my friends now, and we've hung out. I hang out with some of these girls, and that goes to the reason why I opened the salon is because I really, really wanted to educate people that first of all, there's such a misconception about extensions and that they're damaging for the hair. Yeah, they can be damaging for their hair. And when you go down Ventura Boulevard, there are 20 people that do extensions. And, 15 out of those 20 people just look at the money part. And I'm not bad mouthing. Hairdressers need to be educated how to do extensions. So the TikToks went viral because I am harsh like that. There's no BS with me, and I'm going to tell you the truth, and some people can't handle it.
Yeah. Did you ever have any clients that came in and you were like, I'm just not going to do that,
100%.
and they left?
100%, but not in like, I'm leaving. I'm like, I think that this isn't a good idea right now, and I don't think that we should do this now, but let's wait 6 months. Let's have a game plan, and then in 6 weeks to 6 months, come back, let's see your hair again, and then we'll do it. Because yes, I have to make money, but I don't believe in, a misconception and saying like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
I think the money comes when you're honest and open and doing the right thing.
Well, and if you break all your hair off, you'll never put extensions back in there
And
anyway.
you will never trust me again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Going viral is a little crazy.
Do you know exactly which video was like the one that set
Yeah,
it
it was
off?
Lauren's video where like I was interrupting her, and I didn't even realize I was interrupting her. I didn't realize that I was doing what I'm doing. I just was telling my staff, I was like, this is how we're gonna do it. And we literally I literally made a list of what I was gonna do when I was doing it for her, when I was doing the TikTok, because that is social media and you have to prep for it. And because I had a thought out plan, and I'm saying this for anybody that wants to go viral, it's like some just go viral to go viral and you have no idea. But when you own a business, it's like you're constantly thinking of what you can do. And I didn't think it was going to go viral either, but having a game plan.
Yeah.
And that game plan was being myself.
Yeah. And so it was Lauren Godwin, right?
Yeah.
And she has like 22 million followers.
She was on Musical.ly. One of my other clients came to me when I wasn't even at when I didn't even open Extension Bar LA. She was like a micro influencer, and I didn't know she was a micro influencer. I just thought, I like having pretty girls on my Instagram, and it worked. But she became a daughter to me again, and she was the one that introduced me to Lauren, because Lauren was going to Texas at the time and getting her hair done. And
she lives here locally?
She lives now.
Wow.
Well, she's from Texas.
Okay.
So she would go back and forth, but she started coming to me because she was full time here now. And so Lauren is because of my one client, it's still, no matter how much TikTok and Instagram, it's still word of mouth, basically.
Yeah, that's how you trust people, is word of mouth, right?
For sure.
And she's got this beautiful pinks and purple hair, so I'm sure that's a lot of work to maintain, right?
A lot of work to maintain. And we usually don't do color, but for Lauren, I went back to my roots, literally, and did her color, because that's a hard one to do, to come back and forth. But I enjoy that one. I always forget how much I did light color, and once in a while to get my hands in it again, because I don't do it all the time anymore, and I'm not doing as much hair anymore as I used to, because I have employees that are doing it for me that I've trained. So it's nice to go back to my roots. But back to the TikTok part, it was interesting.
Was it overnight? You closed your phone and then woke up and it was just bam?
I was checking. I remember I was sitting at dinner with my cousin. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But then I read some of the comments and I was like, oh, they're not taking it the way that I thought. And then some people, I say kids because it's so many kids watching TikTok, and some of these kids were talking satire, and I was like, satire? I'm like, huh. I didn't know kids use that word even. I didn't even know that they knew what. So anyway, some people got it.
Okay.
And some people didn't. And I had to stop reading the comments.
Yeah. That's a really toxic place, I'm sure.
It's a very toxic place. And
especially when you're doing good and you're this is your business. And the trolls, I'm sure.
The trolls got to me, and as I'm talking to you about it, and I'm saying I'm not letting it get to me, I don't read them anymore. I did in the beginning, and it's some of them were you're not going to have any clients anymore. And so when we were getting clients from that TikTok, and I asked every single one of them, I'm like, so how did you hear? I always ask everybody.
I remember in the beginning of your videos. Yeah.
And they said they are saying from Lauren and Reagan, who's another influencer and TikToker, they liked how open and honest, because there's so many people in LA, especially coming here and the way that you can be and being fake, like,
Yeah.
and just wanting to hear what you want to hear.
Yeah.
People trust the honesty.
And it's important. You're the professional. You know what's best, right? It's like when I go into a tattoo shop and they're
Right.
like, that's really not the best spot for that.
Right.
That's not the best size.
That's right.
And you listen because
Yeah.
they're the professionals,
That's right.
right?
That's right. And some of these kids like understand that, and some of them just want what they want. And I've had clients leave, go get it done somewhere else, get what they wanted, and come back
Yeah, I screwed up.
because they screwed up, like a little
Yeah.
kid telling on themselves.
Yeah.
You know
I'm
about
sorry.
that? Yeah.
Yep. So you put these videos together. The beginning of the video is kind of like a consultation. You say, nope, I'm not going to do that. This is what we're going to do. And then at the end, they're so happy.
happy.
They trusted the process.
Trusted the process.
And then you're like, the aftercare, right? That's where people screw up a lot. Tell me what the aftercare of extensions is like.
So I truly believe, and I've said this from the beginning of this interview, is educating the client. So that means the first part is trusting the hairdresser knowing how to place the extensions. Then educating the client how to take care of the extensions. So and then when they're coming back, the right person taking them out. So we've had
It's a 3-step process.
So I say that in the consultations every single time, that it's 3 things that need to happen, and if those 3 things don't happen, you will mess up your hair. So we have a care card that we give the client every time it's a new client. And even then, like before the TikTok, even if I wasn't doing their hair and I'm always in the salon, I would be like, this is what you have to do, and if you don't do it, you're going to mess up your hair. And my lawyer drew up documents
Oh, do you have to sign that before
to
you do your hair?
sign
Yeah.
before you leave, because we're not responsible if you're going to mess up your hair. And
Yeah.
we've had it before. So taking care of them is using the right shampoo and conditioner, using the right brush that we have designed and
Yeah.
we'll talk about. And when you're coming back to us. So even if you don't want them anymore, coming back to us to remove. We've had in the past clients that decided they don't want them anymore and going somewhere else, and the hairdresser ripping out
Yeah.
all their hair, and then us taking the trying to make us that it's our fault,
Right,
when it's
right.
not. And we clearly state that in all our
Yeah.
all our forms and stuff, because I want to make sure that you're not messing up your hair.
So fragile.
So fragile. And we've had clients, or most of our clients their hair is getting better from the extensions because they're taking better care of it.
Right, they're using better products.
They're using better products, and products is so important. It's so important, and that's going to bring me to my new thing of my new passion. Not new, but what I'm passionate about right now is developing the right products, and by next year we'll have some stuff in the works. We have some stuff in the works right now,
exciting.
but it's super important for me
Yeah.
to have the right products for the client, because nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it. They throw these hair extensions in, and I've had it over and over again of like a new client will come in and I'm like, well, did they tell you what to do? And they don't really go through the
Yeah.
steps and what you need to do to go to bed. When you go to bed, what you have to do if you're in the pool or the ocean, and all this stuff.
There's so much.
And then I know, well, you're investing in your hair.
Yeah.
You're investing in yourself.
When you spend that much money, you don't want to screw it up anyways. Come
No,
on.
even like a tattoo, you
Yeah.
research and you make sure that you're going to the right person
Yes.
to do the right work.
And the aftercare is the hardest part of it.
Hardest part of it. The hardest part. And I always say, and we have a 2-week warranty. So if anything is going awry, we are happy to help fix it or take care of it in the first 2 weeks, and make sure, like, if they're worried to come in and we'll look at it or take a picture of it, we're always ready and willing to help.
And brushing is a big part, right? I think I remember that in one of your videos, like brushing it every single day.
Because you can get knots if you're not brushing the hair. It is 100% Remy human hair. It still needs to be brushed. It's
Yeah.
still not your own hair. And if you're not brushing it and you're getting it tangled, it's pulling at your hair. And that is what's creating the damage, because it's pulling at your own hair.
So let's show, this is your
Let's.
brush. Ooh,
I'm very
Extension
proud of that
Bar
brush.
LA.
We just got a
see it.
TikTok shop that we got
Very cool.
approved.
I'm just learning about this TikTok
I
shop.
know.
I'm gonna lose so much money on it.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
can you show me how that works?
So, yes. So I'm going to do. So I have 8 packs of K-tips in my hair, and just by brushing, like I didn't brush my hair this morning with all that wind and the hurricane.
The 0.5 mile wind.
But just from brushing it, it's already smoother, shinier,
Yeah, it's
healthier.
softer looking.
You can see that right when I brush it. So I developed a brush to make sure it's real boar's bristles. And you have to have that because that creates the shine that against real hair, that's what helps the hair shine. So getting into inside of the hair with the brush is super important too, to get in there where the extensions are. So you're constantly brushing when you're getting out of the shower, when you're getting out of the ocean, when you're, I know, again, it's a lot of work. I'm not saying
especially,
it's
I
not.
can't even imagine out of the ocean. Jeez.
Right. But we have a whole thing for that
Yeah.
and what to do, and putting leave-in conditioner and braiding it and doing all that if you're going into the ocean or a pool is super important. It's super important to have this like at all times in your hair, because it's not regular hair, even though, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, it tangles. It doesn't.
Well, even regular hair
But
tangles.
even regular hair tangles, and it's important to always maintain it.
Yeah.
This is your maintenance. This is
Yeah.
keeping your hair healthy. It's maintaining those integrity of your extensions of the hair and making sure the longevity of the extensions lasts long.
So let's talk about how long it lasts. Like, so if you get a set of extensions, what is the timeline for them?
So the ones that I have in, people say like, oh, I can go 6 months. I say no, you can't go 6 months for K-tip extensions, because again, it's growing. Our hair grows and it pulls against our own hair. Excuse me. And then doing the tape and extensions at 6 weeks. So every 6 weeks. So these aren't reusable.
Okay.
So every 3 to 4 months, you have to get them redone.
Okay.
And then the tape and extensions are 6 weeks, but they're reusable. So we take it all out. We wash your hair, we wash the extensions, and we retape the hair. And then our sew-in wefts, or Active Babe, is also, I would say, 8 to 10 weeks, and those are reusable too.
Oh,
And then
okay.
your clip-ins are.
So you're just kind of moving them up.
We're moving them up because the hair does grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
these are the ones that are probably the most pricey. But if you think of a whole year of the tape-ins or the sew-in, you're probably paying the same amount of these and those in a whole year.
Yeah, because you have less appointments to adjust them.
Right.
Okay. All right. And then let's talk about styling, because that, I mean, I feel like anytime I see someone with extensions, it's always like perfectly styled, like beautiful curls.
Right.
Like, what does the everyday look like for extensions?
Well, if you don't want to have to do an everyday curl to it, which I don't. I don't believe in washing your hair every day. You with no extensions, me with extensions. I feel like it's really important not to wash your hair every day, because it kind of, our water has so much chlorine in it, and it kind of dries out the hair, and I don't care how much moisture you put in it. It's important to wash your hair twice a week. I go once a week, and that's really important. And then after getting out of the shower, I tell my girls, like, dry the roots of the hair, so you're drying the extensions so that doesn't mat. So if you're going to bed, you're not matting into the extensions in the hair. And then braiding. So many of my girls just do 2 braids, and that's part of our maintenance card of what to do is braiding at night, because then you get that nice just beachy wave, and then you don't even have to do anything.
Oh, that's nice.
It's you're actually styling less when you have extensions. You're not worrying about it as much. See, aren't I selling you already?
I have wanted extensions forever. I didn't know anything about it.
You're going to use the brush, and you can be like, wow, if I had extensions with this.
It would be down here. I'd be brushing.
Yeah. So always using a heat protector is super important. And if you're using a heat protector, then curling is okay. We use a 1 1/4 barrel GHD curling iron. And that heat goes up and down with the amount of hair you're putting in. So it does it for you, basically.
Wow.
And that's why we like it so much. I don't love flat irons. I think that they heat up too much on the hair, because you're going right against the hair.
Yeah.
And a curling iron, you're kind of moving it around more. I know you're moving it around with a flat iron. We still use it once in a while. We still can curl with a flat iron, but mostly I would say a curling iron. And then the reason why it can look so good after that, because that curl stays for a few days. So
Right.
it's not, and then I tell my clients to like put it in like a half bun, how you just fold the bun.
Yes.
And you can do that with your own hair. Like you curled your hair today,
Mm-hmm.
you brush it out and you put a half bun at night and put it at the top of your hair. I promise you it'll stay a little bit better.
I also switched to silk pillowcases.
And I really believe in that too.
Yeah, I
And
just
a
did that and
bonnet,
it worked.
we're developing a bonnet right now because I
Yeah.
think that's really important to put a bonnet in your hair. So even with or without extensions, to like keep those curls, that helps a lot.
What about when you have like someone who's got really curly hair naturally? How do you match an extension with
It's
that?
harder to match the extensions, and we've had so many girls that want it, and there are certain kind of hair. I just haven't found that 4C, it's a certain number
Mm-hmm.
that the quality of the hair is perfect. And
Yeah.
I'm still searching and looking for that good quality curly hair, because the other problem is you have a curl pattern, and if you're doing a K-tip extension individual, it's hard to smooth that hair out every
Right.
time, and then not drying it enough is not good for the extension. So it's a whole other beast that
Yeah.
I'm still, figuring it out. But, getting a relaxer or a treatment like a Brazilian blowout. But we've found a nice weight. It's a little bit curlier that we get from this other company, and that's slowly getting curlier. And we're finding curlier and curlier hair. So we're still learning. I'm learning
Yeah.
every day.
And I feel like it's changed so much from when you first started extensions, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like things are coming out and new products are coming out and you're making new products, so it's
Right.
always changing.
Always changing, like our world.
Yeah.
For sure. It's we only had one pattern when we first started of wavy Indian hair, and it was beautiful Indian hair from the Buddhist temples in India,
Wow.
and it was the best hair that we ever had. And we can't get that hair anymore. It's not the same, or the company changed, or the partners parted ways, so we can't get the same amount. So I'm constantly on like a hunt for the best quality hair. That's again my main concern, because we want the longevity of the extensions to last and stay in your hair.
That's amazing. So how can we find you? You're on TikTok. What other
Yeah.
social media platforms
All
are you on?
handles are Extension Bar LA.
Okay.
That's how you find us. Website, general pricing is on website. Brushes are on TikTok and on our website. We're going to be on Amazon soon with our store. So look for us.
That's incredible. I feel like I mean, you've covered every aspect of extensions. I think we've covered so much. So I will link your TikTok
thank
and
you.
your website in our
Yes.
bio. And thank you so much
It
for
was so
being
much
here.
fun. Thank you for having me.
you. All right, and we will see you on the next episode of Women of Burbank.
My Burbank Talks would like to thank all of My Burbank's advertisers for their continued support. Burbank Water and Power, Cusimano Real Estate Group, UME Credit Union, the Burbank Chamber of Commerce, Gain Credit Union, Providence St. Joseph Medical Center, Community Chevrolet, Media City Credit Union, UCLA Health, Tequila's Cantina and Grill, UPS Store on 3rd Street, and Hill Street Cafe.